Hello, my name is Angelina Hardy Maloney, class of 1996, and I am the president of the Alumni Association Board of Directors. I am excited to welcome you to the 2021 Alumni Awards ceremony. Today, we will honor two distinguished Alumni Award recipients, as well as the winner of the 2021 Thomas A. Mannion Distinguished Faculty Award. You'll hear more about each of the recipients shortly, but first, it is my honor to turn the ceremony over to President Marcia White, also a graduate of the College of St. Rose.
I'm honored to welcome everyone to the virtual 2021 Alumni Awards, where we will recognize two alumni and a member of our faculty who all embody the spirit of St. Rose. Alumni Association President Dr. Angelina Maloney will introduce our award winners. Today's honorees were nominated by our alumni and selected by members of our alumni board. Our St. Rose motto is, "In thy light we shall see light." More than 47,000 living St. Rose alumni serve as that light in the world today. Some are educators like Dr. Maloney. Some are social workers, counselors, psychologists, and speech therapists. Others are scientists, business people, computer programmers, lawyers, or writers. Whatever the path you chose, you are part of the St. Rose legacy. We are proud and privileged to recognize these exceptional alumni who exemplify the St. Rose mission to make the world a better place. Ceremonies like this reinforce the college's values by highlighting St. Rose alumni who demonstrate those values in their lives and in their work. They lead by example and set the bar high for our students to follow so that our students answer their calling and ensure that the light of St. Rose grows brighter and brighter each year. I am proud to be counted among St. Rose alumni and to lead this institution into the next 100 years. And I am excited to celebrate these three outstanding individuals who are part of our legacy and serve as a reflection of our St. Rose mission and inspiration for all of us. Congratulations.
The Distinguished Alumni Award acknowledges a St. Rose alum for demonstrating the excellence of a St. Rose education through outstanding accomplishments or significant contributions to society. Distinction must lie in one of the following areas: professional, academic, cultural, service, or creative expression. Selection for the award is based on the quality of achievement, the scope of its impact, and the extent to which it exceeds the nominee's customary professional responsibilities. This year, we are proud to present the award to two alums, Sister J. Elizabeth Betsy Van Duzen, class of 1984, and Director of the Community Partnerships for the Diocesan Catholic Charities, and Graham C. Knowles, graduate class of 1994, and Associate Director and Lecturer for the Archer Center for Student Leadership Development at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. First, we'll share a little bit more about Sister Betsy. After earning a bachelor's degree in sociology and religious studies from St. Rose in 1984, Sister Betsy had devoted her life to helping others. In her early years, before joining the Sisters of Carondelet, she worked at Unity House in Troy, assisting those struggling with poverty, mental illness, HIV and AIDS, and domestic violence. After becoming a Sister of St. Joseph in 1991, Sister Betsy became the head of the St. John St. Anne Center in Albany, which offers food and other aid to people in need. 6 years later, she became the first ever Catholic nun to serve as the Director of Church Relations for Habitat for Humanity International based in Americus, Georgia. In 2000, Sister Betsy returned to the area and worked in several positions, including St. Helens Parish and in the St. Joseph Worker Program, both in Schenectady. After Hurricane Irene hit, she spent a year helping people in 6 counties of diocese rebuild their lives as a case manager for Catholic Charities. Since 2013, Sister Betsy has been the Director of Community Partnerships for the Diocesan Catholic Charities It should also be noted that Sister Betsy has continued to support the college both by serving as a St. Rose trustee and by participating in programs and connecting with students at any opportunity that arises. Before you have a chance to hear from Sister Betsy, I will share a few words from the nomination for this award. Quote, Sister Betsy has always given 110% to any task she has been assigned. She was extremely active when attending St. Rose in the early 80s, and she has continued to give it her all. Yes, she chose to become a Sister of St. Joseph, which in itself is a career focused on giving of oneself. However, Sister Betsy has continually engaged in roles that have served those in the greatest need. On behalf of the Alumni Association, congratulations, Sister Betsy.
I'm Sister Betsy Van Duzen. I was a sociology and religious studies major. I graduated in 1984, and presently I am a Sister of St. Joseph of Carondelet, and I presently serve in ministry at Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Albany. So I get to talk to lots of people about the work of Catholic Charities. Truthfully, my whole career, I have really worked with the dear neighbor. I mean, the Sisters of St. Joseph talk a great deal about working with the dear neighbor and conscious of the dear neighbor. My first job out of St. Rose was working in a domestic violence shelter. And then I went to work at St. John St. Anne's in the south end of Albany. And I really thought that was going to be the place where I would really spend my life. I would be in the south end working with the poor and really trying to transform a community. And then I met the Director of Church Relations for Habitat for Humanity International. I was with Habitat for 5 years, traveling literally all over the world as the Director of Church Relations, and had an extraordinary privilege of walking with people in 36 countries and just being present. After 9/11, Habitat eliminated the department called Church Relations, so I lost my job, as did the rest of my staff around the world. My family was like, they fired a nun? I can't believe they fired a nun. So I came home and I went to work at St. Helen's Church and now at St. Cowdery's as the youth minister. I was in the parish for 10 years, 5 as youth ministry and 5 doing outreach and evangelization and the like. And then I went to work for Catholic Charities as a disaster case manager. From there, I moved into my present position 7 years ago as the Director of Community Partnerships. When I came to the College of St. Rose, my life did change. And who knew when I was here how my career would unfold? And it's been so clear that each thing built on the previous thing. And my mom was a graduate of St. Rose. She was a nurse, graduated in 1946, and wanted one of her 4 daughters to come to St. Rose. And I was daughter number 4, and I assured her that I would not be coming to the college. So she asked me if I would will you at least go visit? And I learned years later that my father, who wasn't Catholic, said to one of my older sisters, if she goes there, she's going to be a sister. Really? Which I learned many years later. I said, well, who knew all this? I didn't know all this. Did I know this? No. So the motto that we're using now, home, I experienced that when I walked on campus. I just love being involved. I was the editor of the newspaper, at that time it was called Inscape. And then I was Director of Communication as a junior, and then I was President of the Student Association as a senior. I worked in the library with Sister Henrietta Marie, and Sister Henrietta Marie was in her 70s, and she was head of technical services. So Henrietta and I were good buds, and she actually was a witness at my first vows. I'm certainly humbled. You don't do work, you don't do what's important to you, you don't live your passion to be recognized. You do it because it matters and you want it to matter and you want to help people. It's very humbling knowing that how many alumni there are at the college that I was selected as Alumni of the Year. So it's very touching to me. You can even hear it a little bit in my voice. And one of the truths is St. Rose might be a small college, a small campus, but it's a mighty institution and it has much to offer. As much as you embrace, as much as you jump in and learn and do and take advantage of everybody and everything that's here, you'll go as far as you want to go. I say go for it. Don't miss a beat. Think big, dream big, and go for it. Thank you so much. I am humbled, and I pray and trust that I will continue to live the spirit of the College of St. Rose and the Sisters of St. Joseph as long as I live and breathe. And just thank you. Thank you to the Alumni Association. Thank you to the college for being very instrumental in making me who I am.
Now I would like to highlight our second Distinguished Alumni Award recipient, Graham C. Knowles. For the past 25 years, Graham, who earned a Master's of Science in Education focusing on college student personnel services at St. Rose, has invested his time, energy, and wisdom into thousands of students, including graduate students at St. Rose during his time as a college employee. As a student development professional, he dedicates his professional life to program development, advising, counseling, student leadership development, classroom instruction, and curriculum development in event planning. Graham is currently an Associate Director Lecturer for the Archer Center for Student Leadership Development at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. He joined the Archer Center in 2005 after a varied career in higher education at Siena College, St. Rose, and Hudson Valley Community College. In addition to teaching, supporting RPI's athletic department, and advising for the Rensselaer chapter of the National Society of Leadership and Success, Graham recently designed a new virtual team builder for curriculum that has a provisional U.S. patent. But before you meet Graham through the video, allow me to read an excerpt from one nomination for this award. Graham's professional accomplishments exceed well beyond the office and classroom. Graham characterizes an ultimate servant leadership whose passion and purpose is to help others achieve their potential. His mission focuses on helping others align their values and standards with their purpose in order to foster teamwork and ultimately achieve success. A former colleague also described Graham as, quote, a talented lecturer and student life professional with much to offer students and colleagues fortunate enough to work with him. He is patient, reliable, well-organized, and gifted in networking. He quickly understands and is genuinely interested in the needs of his students and models inquiry throughout his own incisive questions and commitments to learning. Above all, Graham is a quality person. On behalf of the Alumni Association, congratulations, Graham.
So I'm Graham Knowles from Colony, New York, and I'm the class of 1994 graduate. And my master's degree in education was in college student personnel. I think about my first encounter coming to St. Rose. I was in an RA conference down in Cortland, and I sat in a workshop behind two people. And the two people were actually Wendy Wheeler, who was the director of Res Life at the time, and Susan Aronimus, who was a grad RD at the time at St. Rose. And they turned around and we had this conversation, and I talked about me wanting to go into higher ed. And Wendy gave me her card. That was like the spring of '91. I held on to that card and then applied the summer of '92. I lived on campus here as a grad student. I was hired as a grad RD and spent 2 years living in the residence halls, supervising RAs as a grad student. What I love about that is I was studying college student personnel and to be working in higher ed, but I was practicing it and putting it into practice every day in my grad assistantship here. It helped me put myself through grad school. The role of Director of Student Life opened up here in 1998, and so I started my Director of Student Life role then and worked till August 2004.
Graham and I actually met the spring semester of my senior year in 1994. He was our resident director of Lima Hall at the time and worked a lot at Lima desks. We were hanging out with a group at the Partridge Pub, and I tend to talk with my hands a lot. And I knocked Graham's drink out of his hand and felt so bad, so I threw some money at him. I was like, go buy yourself another. And I think that was when he was like, wow, I think I like her. So.
I think of St. Rose impacting my life in two different ways. Like, it impacted my life greatly in the profession that I went into and the professional and educator that I am in higher ed. And then certainly profoundly my personal life as well.
St. Rose has actually been woven into our lives since then. We got married at St. Vincent de Paul Church by Father Christopher Di Giovanni. Our children were both baptized at the Interfaith Sanctuary here by Father Chris. We've always brought our family back to St. Rose for our important milestones, and we just recently celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary.
It has been a huge connection both professionally and personally in my life, one that I would not give up at all. It's a really strong connection for us.
So Graham stands out as distinguished alum in all the facets of his life in a variety of colleges in the area, not only here at the College of St. Rose, but most recently at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, where he's an athletic liaison to the sports teams, where he does goal setting and team building. So he really is a servant leader at heart. Congratulations, Graham, on receiving the Distinguished Alumni Award. You are the most deserving person for this award. You certainly represent the values of St. Rose in all of your interactions with others, with your family, and I couldn't be more proud.
I think for many people that win an award, shocked to receive it, but also humbled by it as well. What it means to me is that people recognize the contributions I've made, the life that I've lived and given to this campus, but also in higher education for sure. What I would say to the students out there is build the relationships, get involved, thinking about ways that you can help shape the St. Rose experience on this campus and beyond.
The Thomas A. Mannion Distinguished Faculty Award was established in honor of St. Rose President Thomas A. Mannion. This award is presented to an eligible faculty member in recognition of excellence in teaching, outstanding professional accomplishments, and concern for students demonstrated by influencing their professional and personal lives. It is my honor to present the Thomas A. Mannion Distinguished Faculty Award for 2021 to Dr. Christina Fister. Dr. Fister is a professor of education at St. Rose and is the president-elect of the New York Association of Teacher Educators. She was a teacher educator department chair at St. Rose for 2.5 years and has published at least 4 research-based articles in the field of education and remains active as a researcher. She encourages students to be active researchers, and many of them have presented at conferences. In the award nomination, Dr. Fister's commitment to students was described this way. Dr. Fister goes above and beyond for her students. When classes were in person, her door was always open and students could always go in and ask any question, whether it was related to class, advising, or just for some advice and a snack. As an advisor, Dr. Fister would create a, quote, master plan, unquote, for her students to help them decide when to take classes that they would need to graduate. It was suggested that Dr. Fister might like to move her office, but she insisted being close to the common area, which provides ready access to her students. Dr. Fister has many shelves full of materials that she loans to students, even after their classes with her. For example, during student teaching, students know that they can borrow material. In fact, the curriculum library often refers to Dr. Fister's collection as the second best curriculum library. All current and present students' birthdays are entered into her cell phone, and she never forgets to email a birthday greeting. Other significant events, pet adoptions, marriages, and births are recognized as well. Dr. Fister would also like to take the time and really get to know her students and their interests. Her dedication to her students is evident from the moment you meet her. Thank you for what you do for all of our students, Dr. Fister. On behalf of the Alumni Associations, congratulations on this award.
I'm Christina Fister. I'm professor of teacher education here at the College of St. Rose, and I am in my 14th year here, so I've been here for a little while. I grew up in this area, and then I went to Syracuse University, and I got a bachelor's, master's from Syracuse in teaching, and I was a classroom teacher in the Syracuse area for a couple of years. While I was studying for my master's degree, the professor brought in different research into the class and talked a lot about what it was like to teach pre-service teachers. And I started getting really interested in that, and decided that what I really wanted to do was to be a college professor and work with pre-service teachers. So I finished my PhD at Syracuse University, and then I ended up going to Illinois State University for a couple years. But this is home, and this job opened up after I'd been in Illinois for a couple years, and I applied and was just so excited to be able to come back home here. I've been here since then and have really enjoyed every minute. My favorite part of teaching, it's really getting to know students, and it's getting to know what their interests are, and it's sometimes opening their eyes. I'm thinking about a teacher right now in one of the local districts who, when she came here, insisted that she wanted to teach kindergarten or first grade and nothing above. And then she had a field placement in a 5th grade class, and she had a student teaching experience in a 5th grade class, and she loved it. And now she's a 5th grade teacher, and I actually take my classes there to do field work in her classroom. I do try to bring humor into the classroom. Actually, that's not true. I don't try to bring humor in. It just kind of comes out sometimes. When a student is having a bad day or something's happened, it's just, if I can get them laughing a little bit, you know, it just kind of diffuses some of that tension. I have a lot of students who will stop by just to grab a snack. I have a snack bin, and they'll grab a snack and just sit down and kind of hang out for a little bit and just tell me something that's going on in their lives. Or maybe they have a question about class, but then it kind of will evolve into, hey, what are you thinking about your field placement this year? Or, you know, what's student teaching like? And so it's really memories like that, and just kind of getting to know the students more personally. I'm so honored to receive an award for doing something that I love doing. There's an old cliche about, you know, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I really enjoy everything that I do, and most of all, I enjoy working with students. After students graduate, sometimes we don't hear from them for a while. There's some I hear from quite frequently, and it just means a lot to know that the alumni are still thinking about the college. And even if it's been 3, 5, 10 years, I still want to hear from students and still want to hear what they're doing, you know, what's happened in their lives, both personally and professionally. If we were in person, the first thing I'd do is thank every student that I've ever had, just because I've learned so much from them. I have great colleagues also, and I'd want to thank them. The colleagues that I have in my department and in the school, I have always loved the way that everybody at St. Rose kind of comes together around students, and knowing that we're here to work with students, we're here to do the best we can with our students and to help them. And of course, I thank my mom, because she's a mom and she's amazing.
Thank you for joining us today and for continuing to engage in life at St. Rose as an alumni. And once more, congratulations to these 3 wonderful award recipients who reflect the spirit of St. Rose.